Hi everybody, it's January 14th, 2022. This is a public video here. We're doing one every Monday and Friday. So let's take a look at Bitcoin action and see what's going on here. So last night I had gone over the possibility that we had 5 waves down, although at the time I was looking at it right here as being the end of the 5th wave and seeing a second wave bounce from there. Overnight action extended it downwards, so it looks more like we have a little micro 5 down here. Potentially, this is very unclear action still, but we do potentially have a 5-wave move down. And then this red box here is drawn between the 382 and 618. Actually, I extended up to the 786. So between the 382 and the 786, and where it rejected was actually right at the 618. But really, realistically, anywhere in here is a potential topping point for this second wave, if in fact that's what it is doing. So it's unclear right now if that is going to play out, but it's something we need to keep an eye on. And honestly, it's what I prefer to see happen. And it does make a lot of sense because this action here, if you recall, was corrective action. That was a WXY up. We really do not have 5 waves there. And so I was expecting that to be a top in 4 and then a move down in 5 like that. Although we did break this line here, 44K, which just makes it a little bit hairier, not necessarily as clean of an impulse down. That 4th wave went a bit too high. So that is really the only hiccup in this scenario and why I'm not completely convinced that we are going down here. I think this is still the most likely scenario, to be perfectly honest with you, but if we do go up, you know, that's why basically this broke here where it really shouldn't have broken, and so we might end up with some annoying choppy action where we get a diagonal up like this instead, or something like that, or just continue chop sideways. So anyway, all I want to do really is just focus in on the most likely scenario that I'm viewing right now, which is this being a rejection here and a move down. So realistically, what we need to see now is a break of yesterday's low, or today's low rather. That happened today. And that's this low right here at about 41.7K. So if we break 41.7 without significantly going, too much higher, without breaking this high basically, if we break 41.7 without breaking that high, preferentially not breaking above this red box, then that should trigger this 3rd wave down, and that should be a pretty aggressive drop. 3rd waves are usually pretty strong, right? So once we break this area here, it's going to be a pretty quick trip probably down to this area. So let's do fib extension and just make sure that looks about right. I'm pretty sure that's what I did initially when I was drawing this. Okay, it went a little higher than when I initially drew it. So potentially 3rd wave there, 4th wave around there, and 5th wave up higher, unless the 3rd wave extends, which it certainly could. But so anyway, sub 40K is where that 3rd wave drops to. If we get that 41.7 break, we should see this area right here, right in the 39K region, followed by a little jump up and then a final drop down. And then the question then is that the end of the correction that we've been tracking, or do we just get another 3-wave bounce and then further downside? And at this point in time, it is too early to say. We are not going to know that until we see the reaction off of the lows. But we'll keep an eye on it and see if there's an early indication of a nice low time frame 5-wave move up off of the low here, like something like this, even on like a 5-minute chart, and then a pullback holding a higher low. That would be a great time to buy back in. Only if we get this 5-wave move though. So that's what I'm looking at. And I believe that's the most likely scenario right now, but like I said, this broke some of the regions that it really shouldn't have broken. So we are in a bit of a hairy situation here where it's a little bit cloudier because of that. I mean, PPO obviously topped out, so it wouldn't be shocking to see a drop from here, of course. We're going into the weekend, would not be a shock to see a drop on the weekend. But, you know, it's also, again, the weekend. It's not going to be a shock to see a pump on the weekend either. To be perfectly honest, though, any upward motion that we see is not going to be extremely strong. Best case scenario, if this does a diagonal upwards, we're probably going to see it top out somewhere in this region here, 47.8 to 48.5. So that'll be 1, 2. We'll see a wave 3 up to about there. Fourth wave is probably going to come down and overlap with that first wave, and then a fifth wave up maybe to just under 50K. From there, if we can fully play out 5 waves in a diagonal, we might be able to buy the next pullback, but diagonal moves like this often have very deep drops. So it could come down really near this low again. It could even double bottom at that low again. Or because they're so unreliable, it could even make a new low from there. So really the preference from, you know, the ease of trading standpoint is for it to complete this 5-wave move down, and then that kind of resets this as a new low, which is great, and then we can try to see a 5-wave move up, which would give us a much stronger trading cue. So hopefully that all made sense. You can obviously jump into the Trade Like a Whale Discord if something didn't make sense. I'm happy to explain it. And we'll just see what the weekend action brings. It's always interesting to see. All right, guys, I think that's it. So good night, and I will talk to you all on Monday.